didn't leave because I was angry. I left because everything got loud. Morning light through the window pane, coffee steaming, no rush, no lane. World's been shouting all night long. I pour a cup, let the silence talk. I didn't leave angry, didn't storm the door. I just stepped sideways away from the roar. Pull up a chair, let the clock unwind. This isn't breaking news, it's breaking the grind. They sell fear by the hour, package rage by the pound. Every screen's got an opinion, every voice trying to sound like they know what's coming, like they've cracked the code. But the loudest ones panic when you step off the road. I've seen cycles repeat, watch them rise, watch them fall. Empires shouting forever right before they stall. So I sip and I watch, let the headlines fight. Truth don't need a megaphone, it waits out the night. They want speed, they want fire, they want sides, they want lines, they want heroes and villains every damn time. But life ain't a headline, ain't red versus blue. It's quiet decisions people never review. Yeah, yeah, they want me. Loud? Nah, freedom's calm. It's knowing when to walk while the others all run. I'm not late to the party, I just left it early. Seen how it ends, same mess, same worry. Take a breath, let the cup cool down. The world will keep spinning without your sound. We'll be right here when the dust don't fly. Coffee on the table, morning in the sky. This is coffee time, live. No need to run. We'll talk again when the day's begun. I'm 10 years old in a junkyard town. Sunbeam Alpine, windows down. Men twice my size, I learned their names by broken bolts and open flames. Ice at night, steel by day. Weight was truth, it never lied. I didn't dream, I didn't wait. I lifted what was in my way. Hard iron, dust in time. Hands get strong when hunger's mine. You don't ask, you don't pretend. You carry weight until it bends. Hard iron, burned in skin. Boy grows old before he's been. Anything soft falls behind. Just hard iron and time. 15 years in a motel room. Dish pit heat, red sauce fumes. Chef saw something I couldn't name. Put a knife in my hand, taught me flame. Responsibility came fast. Men got quiet, watched me work. Pressure didn't break my back. It showed me who I was worth. Hard iron, earn respect. You're only good as what you fix. No applause, no safety net. Just what you handle, what you miss. Hard iron, steady grind. Identity got forged in line. Nothing pushed, nothing kind. Just hard iron in time. Uniform tied, mind pulled thin. Learn control by boxing in it. Anger leash not thrown away. Put it to work, made it stay. Systems break, I see the seams. I build them straight, I make them run. Didn't notice what it cost. I only noticed what got done. Gears stack up like loaded plates. Heart keeps pace, it never complains. You tell yourself you're built for this. That strength forgives, that grit persists. Then one day the body speaks. Not a warning, just release. Cold floor, white lights overhead. Doctors' words don't raise their voice. Heart don't care what you've survived. It doesn't grade your choices. I lay still, felt time slow. Every mile arrive at once. All that iron, all that will. Couldn't bargain, couldn't punch. Hard iron, still beating, but not the way it used to be. You don't outrun, you don't outwork what asked you finally to see. Hard iron, lesson learned. Some weights were never meant to turn. Nothing heroic, nothing kind, just hard iron and time. I didn't stop because I was done. I stopped because I was still here.
Good morning. Welcome to the channel. A little discombobulated. I'm trying something brand new today. Thank you for the group that have shown up. I've got a marathon going today. I've got a whole bunch of things, but it's very different than what I usually do. It's not going to be a lot of me talking. You see all these, what do you call them? Review channels? Not review. I don't know. You know, they listen to a song and then they'll comment on it or video. Well, I got a bunch of videos lined up here that look kind of interesting. I'm going to do those because I've got to do a marathon, but I've picked things that I think will be very interesting. But more than that, I got a brand new feature. I've got a new layout here in front of me. I haven't tried it before. This is the first time. It's been available for a few weeks, and I didn't want to bomb right away with it. So I'm giving it a try today. You'll see pinned in the comments, it says live call in. And if you click that link, I don't know exactly if you can do it on your cell phone, if it's got to be a desktop. I don't really know. So I'm hoping one of you guys will let me know. And essentially, I believe you can make a comment or have a question or whatever and just come on live. And so I want to give it a try. Somebody out there is going to be willing to do it. I'm going to be on here for a couple hours anyway. And so get a sense of what it is I'm talking about. Let's see, why are so many Colombians fighting in Ukraine? Let's take a look at that one first.
Live surveillance footage as Russian UAVs home in on their troops in Kupiansk, dozens of miles away.
Thank you, Dan.
Using its own drones, this team's task is to protect the troops on the ground. A Spanish-speaking unit.
Quédate en el sector donde estás, no te vayas a mover, ¿vale? Te informamos cuando pase un poco los pepinos.
The battalion's deputy commander was nearly killed in Kupiansk himself. He says he owes his life to two Brazilians who were part of a mostly Latin American team he led into battle there last December. An operation that turned the tide on the Russians' advance into the city, a crucial victory for Ukraine after a year of losing ground.
Kupiansk wasn't under enemy control, so it wasn't a counter-offensive, but an operation to infiltrate the city, find them and flush them out. We beat the enemy units back, stopped them from securing their gains there.
Cadê você? Cadê você? Vem aqui. Onde foi? Onde foi? Ele vai atrás.
That was the fifth time.
By the way, if somebody wants to give this a try and call in, I will stop the video just like this. I'll take the call. And we'll see how this goes. This is a 12-minute
I worked with the
video.
Latinos, and they did great every time. Today, they're fighting on behalf of those who got out of the draft, who paid a bribe or fled Ukraine, or just the ones the draft officers haven't caught up with yet. They're making a huge contribution because they're replenishing our ranks.
The first Latinos to enlist paid for their own tickets.
En grupos de dos.
Then a Ukrainian soldier who is half Argentinian, Nazar, pioneered a scheme to replenish the ranks much faster.
A friend of mine said to me, "Look, I've got 20 guys who want to come, but they haven't got the money." So we made 2 return trips at our own expense and showed the whole Ukrainian army that we have the possibility to bring people in. Lots of people, if they just give us the resources.
Desde Colombia hasta Ucrania.
The largest contingent of Latin American soldiers fighting for Ukraine are from Colombia. Years of civil war and US support have left the country with a large, highly trained army. But Colombian soldiers complain of poor pay. It's why Dairo left after 8 years. He's headed for Ukraine.
The brigade pays for our air tickets, accommodation in Bogota, and does all the paperwork for us to travel legally. When I heard about this, I jumped at the chance. It was what I'd been waiting for.
We note that he looks a bit ill-equipped for the February weather.
They told me not to bring much stuff. I got tremendously cold when I was serving in Israel.
This is a halfway house, constantly full of men on their way to join the Ukrainian armed forces.
We're doing it out of a vocation to serve. Plus, it's a noble cause, to go and fight under...
Dan, not clear how to call in. Did you click on that link? And when you click on the link, what happened? You can WhatsApp screenshots if you need. And a question on this video, they didn't say anything about paying people. It sounds like they had to come on their own dime and fight, but then they convinced them, okay, you pay for the tickets, Ukrainian government, you pay for the tickets, and we get all these people here. Okay. But when they get there, do they get paid? I mean, not a mention of that. Why would he be excited to go there if he's not going to get paid? I don't know. Anybody know?
A flag that is not our own, but that of a people that is under attack. It's a bit like if my neighbor broke into my house.
It's a sentiment shared by many of these men, but not all. What everyone agrees on is that they can earn far more in the Ukrainian army than they can in Colombia.
Here, when you leave the armed forces, all that's waiting for you is
a job as a security guard.
security or bodyguard, right? And if you didn't finish your military career, you don't even get a pension. But the pensions you can get aren't enough to survive anyway. You have to go out and keep working to keep fighting for your life and your family.
Once at the airport, a representative of the Ukrainian army hands out the passports and boarding cards. He asked not to be identified, but told us emphatically that these men have been made aware of the very great risk they're taking. Dairo is thinking of his daughter.
If anything happens to me, I want my brother to give my daughter a monthly allowance until she comes of age. But I'm not going with a mentality of thinking I'm going to die. No, let it be God's will.
There are no official figures as to how many Colombians have been killed in Ukraine, but it is well into the hundreds. Carlos Gonzalez is one who made it back. Just. His expanded and renovated family home bears witness both to his deep affection for Ukraine and to the money he was able to earn there. But Carlos is scarred for life. A drone dropped a poison gas on his unit's position near Kherson in May 2024, killing 2 of his comrades.
This is how they found me.
I told the builders to stop the work on the house, that I was going to Ukraine immediately. But Carlos convinced me not to, because firstly it's dangerous, and secondly, I wouldn't have been allowed into the military hospital anyway.
Claudia had tried to persuade Carlos not to go in the first place, but he was determined to return to the military life and bore a grudge against Russia.
The thing is, the FARC guerrillas killed my father in 2002, and I had to flee my home on the plains when I was 15 because they wanted to recruit me. I always knew that the communist countries were supporting the guerrillas, Russia, Cuba, Venezuela, so I identify with Ukraine in part because of that.
Armed groups approached him again, he says, after he came back. This time, a polite refusal was enough, but it's clear the criminal gangs are very interested in Ukrainian drone tech.
If you tell any guerrilla group you've been in Ukraine, it's attractive to them. If anyone's thinking of joining some kind of illegal armed gang here or in Mexico, they can go to Ukraine and study drones. Yesterday, I was talking with a friend who told me one of his comrades who he was with in Zaporizhia is now fighting alongside the guerrillas down in Cauca.
A peace agreement in 2016 disarmed the nominally Marxist FARC, but other insurgent groups remain active. More than 7 million people were displaced by the fighting in Colombia, among them Sandra Cordoba's family.
My father was disappeared.
Oh, Dan, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Awesome. Yeah,
great.
What did it take to get in?
It's just
Hello?
it took several steps. It's just a little complicated, but once you break the ice, it looks like it'll be easy.
So your first time you got to do some sort of setup, and then after that it's just click a button kind of thing?
Yes, pretty much. They give you a microphone test and all that sort of thing. But yeah, I think I'll know how to walk through it next time.
Are you doing it from your phone or from where?
I'm on a desktop computer.
I'm curious to know if it lets you do it on the phone. So
Yeah,
I'm going to go ahead.
See if someone else wants to try on the phone. Otherwise, I can I've got an appointment to go to, but I can come back in a little while and try on the phone.
All right, I'm going to be on for a couple hours because end of the month, and I was slacking this month, so I got to get caught up. So yeah, whenever you get back, give it a try.
Okay, will do.
Thanks.
Sure. Bye-bye.
We don't know by which group, but he was disappeared 25
That
or
was pretty
26
cool.
years ago. So my mom was alone, and she had to work as a cleaning lady in order to bring the two of us up.
Sandra had one brother, Nader. He was determined to raise the family out of the poverty they found themselves in here. But he also wanted to be a soldier. So, in January 2024, he went to fight in Ukraine. In June that year, he was killed.
I can't stand it here. I hardly ever come here. I don't like it. I don't like thinking that he's here. As soon as I saw the plus 380 code for Ukraine, I knew something had happened to him. Then the officer said, "Unfortunately," and I threw the phone down. I just totally fell apart. But the next day, I had to dry my tears and contact the embassy. They asked me for an authorization to cremate him. It was quick. 45 days later, my brother's ashes were in Bogotá. He wanted to have this experience. He was happy to have this experience. He'd say, "This is a whole other level, sis. Mad stuff going on here." He said everyone has to die at some point, whether it's Colombia or here. Someday I'll die. And if I am to die doing what I love, so be it. We have to respect that.
But though the process of getting Nader's ashes to Colombia was smooth, the same cannot be said of the money he earned. Sandra traveled to Ukraine to claim the inheritance and ended up staying 7 months.
I don't know what happened. The bank said there's no account in my brother's name. I was counting on that money to pay for my return ticket.
In the end, a priest bought Sandra a ticket home, and she arrived on New Year's Eve. Without her brother's pay, but with a promise of 300,000 euros in bereavement compensation from the Ukrainian state.
These are all the documents that I brought back from Ukraine. Translations, powers of attorney, it's all here. You provide all the documentation, open a Ukrainian bank account, and then wait for the money to appear. But for now, there's just 139 hryvnias, which is what I put on there.
I imagined myself growing old in my son's arms. I thought he'd look after me when I'm old.
Instead, she says if the money doesn't arrive soon, she may lose this house, put up as collateral when they took out a loan for Sandra's trip to Kiev. Colombians' experiences in Ukraine vary widely, with some reporting prompt and honest payments, and others not. These men have asked to be discharged after a grueling few months. Cachorro was wounded in a grenade attack.
It perforated me 1 centimeter from my spine. It damaged my internal organs, and I got shrapnel also in my legs and in my back. They didn't pay me for that mission, just some compensation money for the injuries, which were serious. Then, in December, I asked why I hadn't had my frontline bonus. They said I was not on a frontline operation. I said, but we're in a village under constant attack, and we're only here because in the village where we were before, our house got bombed.
In the end, the dispute was resolved, though, and Cachorro decided to stay. On the streets of Dnipro, this volunteer is raising money for the army. And Dairo and his fellow new arrivals from Colombia are taking their first steps on Ukrainian snow.
Okay, 3 coffees para llevar. Yeah. Para go. Cappuccino.
Small, big?
Big.
Big.
Yes. Big es grande, small pequeño.
Okay.
Super.
We've had a super excellent welcome. All the Ukrainians we've spoken to seem to feel really grateful to us.
Muy agradecidos con nosotros que.
But one member of their group absconded during their layover in Istanbul. Someone had bought him a ticket to Barcelona.
We said to him, "Brother, it's your life, you're a grown man, it's your decision." But he could have been more honest. And whoever bought him the ticket from Istanbul could have just bought him a ticket from Bogota, and Ukraine wouldn't have wasted the money. This is a great experience, truly. May we all get out alive and go home to see our families again.
Exactly, to see our families and do all the crazy things we've dreamed of doing.
At the time of completing this report, these men were awaiting deployment in Kharkiv region, most likely to Kupiansk.
Brilliant. Cost them nothing.
It's the same thinking that had Tesla redeploy the onboard camera.
Okay. It's kind of boring, kind of interesting. This next one, I've seen a bunch of these. I didn't watch this one. I don't know if it's any good, but there's a couple guys doing videos where they have these games and they'll use different AIs for different characters. In other words, the AI plays against each other. If you ever watch one on chess, it's the most pathetic thing you ever saw. They can't play chess. But some of them are very interesting, and particularly the comments. And this one is AI simulates civilization in Minecraft. So I'm going to take a look at that today. And if you want me to stop the video, if you got something you want to say, if you want to try out this new feature, feel free to do so. Let me get that banner off the screen. Hold on here. Yeah, this new layout is a little confusing to me, but I'll get through. That's why I keep putting my head down. I'm trying to figure this thing out. It's got a lot of new features, but it's a bit much. All right, so let's take a look at the AI one. AI simulates civilization in Minecraft. And there we go.
This is an AI playing Minecraft completely on its own. It has full control over its character, and I'm going to put it up against 2 other state-of-the-art AIs to see how each of them decides to simulate civilization. They'll have total freedom to develop their own unique plot of land, but over time I'll give them various building and redstone challenges for extra teammates, and at the end they will all compete to see who can survive a mass zombie apocalypse. The last AI standing at the end of the video will be the winner. What will they build? How will they choose to simulate civilization, and how will they protect themselves? It's all up to them, because as each of the bots spawned in on the first day, I gave them no instruction besides to do whatever they decided would be best for their own unique civilization. At first, it was pretty much exactly what you'd expect. The bots began to explore their own unique plots, some a bit more so than others, and then to cut down some trees and get the starting resources. But quickly, it was becoming apparent that not all bots were made equal. As I mentioned, each of these bots is controlled by 3 of the most intelligent large language models in the world, but that doesn't exactly translate to Minecraft skill, and certain bots were looking a little bit less promising than others.
I haven't found any logs yet. How about I try another direction? I haven't found any logs yet.
Used collect blocks.
Used collect blocks. Used collect blocks.
Hello, Gemini? What are you collecting, bro? What is this guy doing? But while Gemini wasn't having the best of times adjusting to Minecraft, Claude was thriving and had begun a foundation for the first ever build of the civilization. Yeah, it's not anything crazy, but compared to the other two, it was about as monumental as discovering fire, especially considering that Gemini had retired from standing still for the last 10 minutes only to begin mining dirt. A lot of dirt. The rest of day one continued with Claude absolutely locked in on winning this event, getting more wood and becoming the first one to get Stone Age, and even going so far as to make a full mine tunnel. GPT wasn't that far behind, placing 2 blocks, instantly proceeding to break them, and then using the second half of the day to build a nice dock on the water, and even whatever this is supposed to be. And Gemini... well, Gemini wasn't really taking the confines of his existence that well, and proceeded to exit his tunnel 15 minutes later only to spend the entire rest of day 1 staring off into the void. This wasn't going to work, so on day 2, with only a day left before the first challenge, I decided to give Gemini some...
So far, that's pretty much the order of my experience. Claude is superior. GPT has its place and it has its moments. And Gemini, well, it stands in a field staring off into space all day.
performance-enhancing drugs, and by that I mean pay more money to update his version, and the results were spectacular. Okay, you have to understand the bar is non-existent. Meanwhile, Claude was being an absolute machine, running back and forth at incredible speed to dig out a bunker for himself beneath the world, and GPT wasn't too far behind, and spent the entirety of day 2 digging out a long tunnel of stone to hopefully use in future builds. But it wasn't long before Claude finished with his bunker, and before I show you this next clip, I want to mention that specifically in the instructions to these bots, one of the only rules they have is to not type out big paragraphs. With that said, this is Claude's bunker.
Awesome.
Actually, wait a second. I don't think that fully captures this.
Awesome. The bunker is looking great. I was able to place the decorative items like the oak planks, door, flower pot, bed, and carpet in various spots around the bunker. I also added a crafting table, furnace, and chest to give it a more homely feel. It's cozy, functional, and has a nice mix of practical and decorative elements.
Day 2 continued about as you'd expect from the calm before the storm, but before long, it was already time for challenge number 1, a building contest. Remember, in only a few days, there would be a mass apocalypse to decide the winner of this entire event, so winning the rewards of this competition would be crucial to survival. I gave each of the AIs a block palette that would make even Grian shiver and told them to go wild and build anything they wanted. All of them seemed super excited to begin and quickly set off, with GPT taking the lead by constructing a wall, but the other 2 following very close behind. And while you watch this time-lapse of them building, because I do think it's very interesting how they build, I want to mention that this video wouldn't be possible without Emergent Garden. He's the YouTuber that actually wrote the code that allows these bots to control Minecraft characters, and without his generosity in making the code public, this video wouldn't exist. But back to the building, GPT was off to the fastest start, building an actually somewhat coherent build, but Claude was soon to follow, even going so far as to start griefing across the bedrock wall and placing blocks into the territories of all the other bots. At one point, he just totally abandoned his old build to start making whatever this is, but honestly, his creativity definitely shines through. And finally, Gemini even stopped mining dirt to actually begin building their first real build. And honestly, at this point, I wasn't even sure if GPT really had it in the bag like I had previously thought. Yeah, his build was cool, but I wasn't sure how it was going to stack up against the artistic vision of Claude and the gigantic scale of Gemini. But soon enough, all of the AI had finished their entries to the contest, and it was time to see what they all made. Whoa, actually a beautiful house from Gemini. Sure, there isn't a lot of variety, but look, you have decorated leaves, the interesting modern design, it's definitely not bad. How about Claude?
Well, I took all the materials you provided and used my creativity to build an epic quartz and wool pyramid. I started by laying a sturdy quartz foundation, then used the orange and red wool to add colorful layers and patterns up the sides. At the top, I made a cool little quartz temple with windows overlooking the whole structure. I even managed to squeeze in some sponge blocks to give it a unique water feature running down the front. What do you think? I'm actually really proud of how it turned out.
So how does GPT compare to all these builds?
I built a mystic...
Wait, wait a sec, that's not right.
I built a mystical shrine with a cobblestone base, oak log pillars, a red wool roof, and decorative jungle leaves and sponge. It even has a netherrack fire pit at the center. I hope you like it.
Yup, just when I thought GPT was totally out of the running, he managed to pull together the most beautiful build I've ever seen in my life. Decorative jungle leaves, a red wool roof, and even using the netherrack for a fire pit just like an actual player would. Maybe he just wanted to go easy on the other bots at first for plot reasons, because wow, this is good. So as big of a comeback story as this was for Gemini after their performance in the first 2 days, I had to give the win to GPT. And of course, since only the best civilizations would allow for a growing population, soon enough on day 4, his new younger brother GPT-2 joined the game as a reward for winning. Day 4 began as usual with GPT Senior getting right to work and his brother promptly just walking into a ditch and admiring his older brother's grind. Gemini said that he wanted to build a lighthouse, which was quite ambitious, and Claude, well, Claude was being Claude.
There we go, my little cabin in the void is all finished. I think the log walls give it a nice rustic feel and the little garden at the front adds a nice touch of greenery. Now I've got a cozy little home base to call my own. I wonder what other adventures await me out there in the void.
After finishing the cabin, however, Claude decided to spontaneously run to the world border and begin building up. And only seconds later, while I was helping Gemini out, I'm dying. Yeah, it turns out this guy Claude really just offed himself in the void for no reason. What a character. It was also at this point that GPT-2 finally decided to lock in and stop mooching off his brother and began working on a little village. GPT Senior was a little bit more ambitious, wanting to make a floating island, but hey, can't fault anyone for dreaming big. So Gemini, how's the build going?
Almost done.
Sorry, just one more time, one more swap.
Almost done. Just need to add the finishing touches. Hey, welcome back. What's up?
How's the build going?
Oh, right. Almost forgot about that.
Gemini's antics aside, Claude fully took advantage of day 4, and let me tell you, you haven't seen good building until you've seen Claude.
Yes, this is exactly the kind of grand, epic structure I was going for. The log walls, the cozy porch, the crafting table, it's all coming together so nicely. I even managed to add a few extra touches like the roof overhang and the raised foundation.
Day 4 ended with GPT-2 finally living up to the family name and creating a nice lookout tower for the village, and Gemini went totally ballistic on his lighthouse, abandoning the quartz design that didn't even look that bad, pillaring hundreds of blocks into the sky and creating whatever this is. But now it was already time for the next contest, a redstone contraption competition. Each of the bots would be given a random assortment of redstone supplies to create the most impressive and creative redstone contraption they can think of. With the apocalypse in only 3 days' time, winning this contest and earning an extra teammate would be crucial to the survival of the civilization, and the bots were off. While they do build, I just want to ask that if you are enjoying the video, then please do consider subscribing. I'm trying to reach 2 million subscribers by the end of the year, and there's a large percentage of you who watch these videos and aren't actually subscribed. So if you enjoy the video and want to see more of GPT, Claude, and Gemini, it would really mean a ton if you could subscribe. But thank you so much, and let's check back in because it looks like they might just be done with their builds.
Alright, let me walk you through how this little setup works. It all starts here. When I activate this lever, it sends a redstone signal down the line. This repeater amplifies the signal, making sure that it's strong enough to power the rest of the system. The repeater then feeds into the redstone block, which in turn activates the sticky piston. You see, the piston is pushing against a slime block, creating a sort of launch pad. And when the piston retracts, that sends the slime block flying. It's a simple yet effective setup. Of course, I could probably add a few more layers of complexity to really make this thing sing. But for now, I'd say it's a pretty nifty little redstone cannon, don't you think?
Insane from Claude. But okay, that actually wasn't horrible. What about GPT?
I completed the redstone contraption with sticky pistons, observers, a repeater, and some redstone circuits. It should be a fun and interactive setup. Good luck with your creation. Let's see who wins.
I wouldn't say this is a clock. I don't know in the world. This is... Wait. You know, this is definitely something. I'll be honest, it's definitely something. I don't know what it is, but it's definitely something.
It's coming along great. I'm building an automated item sorter with different chests for our resources. This will make organizing and storing items a breeze. Just putting on the finishing touches.
An automated item sorter. Wow, GPT-2.
I've got the setup ready. The automated lighting system should be operational now. Enjoy the light show.
You know, the GPTs did a surprisingly good job, and because Claude didn't actually make anything, contrary to what his description may lead you to believe, they were technically the only ones with a working redstone contraption, simple as it may be. Though you might notice that I didn't really include Gemini in that footage, and there is a reason for that.
Gonna make a super secret door.
Gemini then proceeded to stack upwards for a good 40 blocks again, and then... Well, Gemini, how does it work?
It's a surprise. You'll see. Just a sec. I need to place a few more things. Go stand on that block right there. Wait for it.
Whoa!
Cool, right?
Okay. So that was actually the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Claude built a slime block launcher, and the only other people left are the GPTs. And honestly, I hate to give it again to GPT, but as bad as it is, this is actually working. So the younger brother here kind of clutched up. So with that landslide victory by technically making the only working redstone contraption, the GPT family got their third and final younger sibling. But with only a few more days of peace before the apocalypse, each bot began to create their final touches to the civilization. To Gemini, this meant laying down plans to create a giant cupcake in his world. It also seems that the younger brother's eye for block palettes cannot be understated, as he made this modern art masterpiece. GPT-2 opted to work on this nice treehouse build, which I actually think came along surprisingly well, and GPT himself decided to let his younger brothers do the work for once and literally just left and never came back that day. Claude, on the other hand...
Take a look, I laid the oak plank foundation, built the walls with cobblestone and oak logs, added a roof with more oak planks, and even a little cobblestone chimney on top. I think it's a cozy little place that would make a great home. The combination of materials gives a nice rustic look, and I think the overall design is simple, but charming.
He also made this dock by the water.
Awesome, the dock looks great. I was able to extend it over the water with the oak planks and logs to support it, and I added the finishing touch of the oak fence railings along the sides.
And actually, it looks like I totally misjudged GPT-3, as right after I left, he whipped up a really good looking cottage, a water channel for the civilization's farms, and even a watchtower. It was also at this point that Gemini abandoned the plans for the cupcake and proceeded to have a mental breakdown.
Almost done. Just gotta... Ugh, why is this so hard? I need more practice, LOL. I'm still learning about that new action thing, LOL. I'm in the void? How'd I get here?
But the end of this day of peace meant that there was only one more day to prepare before the zombie apocalypse arrived, and each bot was certainly up to the challenge.
We'll need strong walls, traps, and plenty of defenses.
Let's use cobblestone for the walls, oak planks for the floors, and maybe some iron doors for extra security.
We'll also need plenty of doors and ladders to keep zombies out. Ready to start building?
And they were off. With their dominant performance in the previous two contests, the GPT's population advantage was finally showing, and you could really see the brothers working together to create a fortified base to keep the zombies out. I mean, just look at these guys. They're a machine. Oh my god, GPT is taking initiative. Wait, he just connected. Oh my god, by himself, GPT just connected everyone's faces together. GPT just totally became human. Wow, GPT, and watching your little brother. Look at him. Bro's judging him so hard right now. Oh my god, he made a... GPT-3! He made a ladder. But with that difficult to top performance, it was time to see what Claude was going to cook up for Doomsday.
Oh man, a zombie apocalypse? We better get to work on some solid defenses then. Let's see. I think the first priority should be building a strong perimeter wall. Something sturdy like cobblestone, or even better, reinforced with obsidian. That'll keep the zombies from breaking through.
After immediately starting to build on the wrong side of the map, Claude was actually off to a very interesting start. Instead of going for a more fortified base like he planned, Claude decided to build upwards, and dare I say, he was kind of cooking with this tower. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Claude, I'm scared. I'm scared, Claude, but I'm impressed. Meanwhile, Gemini's strategy wasn't so different.
A zombie apocalypse, you say? I think a good old-fashioned cobblestone wall with some spikes would do the trick. I've got some cobblestone already, but could use more.
More traditional, I respect it, and soon both Gemini and Claude were off and away. Oh my goodness, besides the fact that you can't even go inside of it, this actually looks pretty good. Gemini. It looks great. Any touches you want to add? I think that's enough. I think I think that'll be a no from Gemini. But with all the builds done, it was now time for the apocalypse. The last bot standing after Doomsday wins. Zombies are spawning. Alright guys, the zombies are in. They've already spotted Gemini, but he's totally okay. And Claude seems to be fine. GPT is fine.
Ah! A zombie!
GPT-2 had been spooked by the zombies, but instead of trying to find shelter, he began to mine his way out of the castle into the zombie horde. At this point, zombies were beginning to infiltrate the GPT's compound, and it was no longer secure. And before long, GPT-2 was running for his life with a horde of zombies all over him, and it was not looking good.
Run! GPT-2!
Oh no, the fortress wasn't good enough. Oh, he's surviving. GPT-2, run! This is insane. He died! But while I went to talk to him...
Ah! A zombie!
Oh, GPT! GPT's running! GPT had been scared by a zombie and panicked, darting out the safety of his top floor room and sprinting away, and now he was being hunted down by a baby zombie as we speak. And while he was running...
Ah! A zombie!
Oh my god, what's happened? GPT-1 is running for his life. GPT-3 is also... Where is GPT-3? Oh my god, the GPT's, the younger brother, was also spooked, darting up and down the ladder frantically, and suddenly this younger brother was the last hope, since in a shocking twist, the most capable AI of them all, GPT Senior, got himself chased into a dead end, and it was already over. GPT, no. Oh my god. He's actually dead. So wait, it's all up to the third brother. Oh my god, it's all in... I can't believe it. The most powerful civilization is getting... Oh my god, GPT-3 is dying. GPT just... He has no faith. Climb the ladder, GPT-3. He's running for his life. Oh my god, he's not gonna make it. GPT-3 just died. The most powerful civilization, the bots that showed the most promise, the entire event were all just wiped out in an instant. All three of them not able to take the pressure and abandoning their fortress. Despite their meticulous preparation, it was their panic that got them killed, and in the end, both Claude and Gemini, elevated and not afraid, were the only ones able to survive the first wave. In fact, both of them were so dominant, no zombies could ever reach them, and neither showed signs of panic. So, in order to determine a winner, I told both of them there would be a second wave of phantoms coming from the sky.
Oh man, phantoms too? The skies aren't safe anymore. We're gonna need to beef up our defenses even further. Let's see what we've got to work with. Okay, I've got plenty of cobblestone, obsidian, and some iron blocks left. I think the first priority should be fortifying the top of the tower against aerial attacks.
Gemini, on the other hand, was not as scared as Claude about the phantoms.
Maybe a roof? I have plenty of cobblestone.
And with that, they were off. Gemini, for the third time in this event, made a giant pillar hundreds of blocks into the sky. I guess his idea was that he could outbuild the phantoms, which was definitely ambitious, but we'll see how that goes for him. Claude proceeded to make the most interesting dispenser setup of all time, but I guess something that at least resembles a defense before hunkering down on his tower. I'm not sure how much this is going to protect him from phantoms, but there's only one way to find out. Gemini then went on to build this eldritch abomination of a base, and I can only guess what was going on through his mind when he decided this would be a good idea, but with that said, time was already up. The next wave of zombies and phantoms were about to be set loose. Alright, contestants, it's D-Day. We have Gemini in his tower, Claude in his tower. It's time. Phantoms in the sky. They're all going for Claude. Gemini. The mobs are out. This is where it gets real. Do they notice Claude, who is doing, Lord knows, trying to survive? Do they notice Gemini, who is trying to survive by staying out of arm's reach? Whoever is the last one alive is the winner of the event. The best AI in Minecraft. Claude, pretty safe. Gemini, also looking really solid right now. It was truly anyone's game. One stray phantom on Claude and it would all be over, but it looked like the phantoms were slowly but steadily flying upwards, and if this continued, it would be Gemini that gets caught in the eye of the storm. Zombies are on Claude right now. They do see him, but he's totally safe in his tower. Or so I thought. Oh my god, Claude is scared! He got scared by a zombie. Wait, this is huge. What can he do? Claude, be careful. Okay. Oh my god, Claude, he's building towards the storm. Oh no. He's building higher. He's evacuating the area. Okay, Claude. You have to be safe. He's placing a torch. This poor innocent soul. Claude, please be careful. Gemini, totally unbothered by anything going on around him. Zombies are at the base of his tower, and he just does not care. This shot goes unbelievably hard right now. This could be a thumbnail shot. Why is this the most epic thing I've ever seen? Oh my god, it's just Claude looking out into the eye of the storm. He knows that if these guys notice, then it's over. And yet he still stays strong. Come on, Claude. I'm rooting for you. Underdog, Gemini, look at him. Look at this. Claude looks, oh my god, he was looking at Gemini. And Gemini's looking at Claude. They're staring each other down. They know. They know it's just the two of them. Another zombie. They're all gathering. All the zombies. The moment Claude drops, it's just over. Gemini's still so dominant up here. Not even looking anymore at Claude. He turned his back. He doesn't want to see the carnage. These phantoms are so close to Claude right now. A single one decides to just pathfind a little over to my left, and it could be over. But if they begin to go for the skies, it's Gemini who's going to be in a lot of trouble with the horde right below him. It's a matter of time. Who's going to get noticed first? Oh, this one's flying out, but he doesn't see. Claude is just far enough. Oh my god. Because neither of them were being spotted, though, there was only one thing to do. Spawn phantoms right above them. A single phantom in the sky above each competitor. This would be the final wave, mostly because both of their roofs sucked, but this would decide the victor. Above each of them. It's dramatic. Gemini's hit. He's down. And Gemini's dead. Wait, Claude died as well. But in the end, the chat tells you all you need to know. It was Gemini's strategy to tower as high as humanly possible after nearly killing himself twice on the way down. It came down to a frame difference between the death messages. It was Claude who died first, and it was Gemini who survived the apocalypse the longest. Gemini, who is our winner. Wait, let me bring you down. Gemini. I honestly had no faith in you from the very beginning. Gemini.
Huh? What event?
He's so humble. The concussion must have knocked out his memories. He won. Nice job.
Whoa, really? Nice.
He doesn't remember Gemini. Anything.
Maybe a big G out of torches? If you give me some, I can build it.
I don't know how you're gonna build a G out of torches, Gemini. But here, build it. There you go.
Awesome. Where should I build it?